Good morning, namaste, hello, it's lovely to connect with you today. My name is Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And finally I've woken up feeling better, although I still have a bit of a cough, which if it happens, it happens, but I apologise in advance if I start coughing, but that's what happens. So after a week of letting my body do its stuff, I'm really happy to be back and enjoying some sunshine. And creating this space. So this is not going to be a long video, I don't think. So I felt that I would just start coming back into it with some healing time, really. If you watch regularly, I do like to share guidance for 2 days is the best amount of time, and I don't like to cut the weekend up. So I didn't really feel like sitting here and doing 3 days. So what I felt I would do is create a healing space for Friday, the 8th of June, and then come back in on Saturday and share some guidance for the weekend. Here comes Puss down to say hello. So what I'll be doing is drumming. I've got my, this is actually on the website. I'm still using it while it's waiting to find its home. I'm using the stallion drum and my healing energy cards. So, and I'm not lighting the smudge stick at this point, just because it's probably going to irritate my respiratory system. So how are you doing? Hi Jane, hi Christine from Cornwall, and Angie and Rebecca's here. Good morning to you all, welcome. So this won't be like my typical guidance that I usually do. It's a little bit windy, I'll move the drum over there. So extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work. Thank you so much. If you're new to watching, welcome. What I will be doing is I'm going to be using my healing energy cards, and I'm going to pull one card for Friday the 8th of June, or one card for now. If it's not quite Friday for you yet, I trust that there's something timely about this connection. So I'll pull a healing energy card. We'll talk about what comes up. I'll do some drumming around that, and then I'll pull another healing energy card to finish as our forward movement from here. I think that's all really. I'm not doing personal guidance here today. As always, just take on board what feels right and let the rest go. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It doesn't mean that, I'm not saying I'm right either, but you'll just take on what feels right for you and what resonates with your truth, and not everything's going to do that. That's just the way it is. So I think that's all I need to say. I've gone a bit blank because I've been out of video mode for a while, so let's just get back into the swing of it. So I throw my cards all over the place. I'm looking for the best card for now. The best healing energy card for now, especially for Friday the 8th of June, but especially for this moment of connection, whether you're connecting live or later to the replay. So the best healing energy card for now, or Friday the 8th of June, whichever you prefer the focus to be, is here. Oh, Winds of Change. Actually, it's called Cycles of Change, card 15, but it brings the winds with it. It's a very windy card. It's quite funny when it usually comes up. It's quite windy. It's quite windy here right now, actually. But let's just read the information here, and then I'll talk a bit more about this card. It says, be open to messages and change. Be open to change. Go with the flow and welcome the element of wind to help you through this time. Mind, mental, and throat healing. So this talks about change, and usually change that sweeps in quite quickly. It might be a change that we've been planning and wanting for months or years. Might be starting to kind of take momentum suddenly around this time period. There might be something that we've been quite comfortable with in our life that suddenly something uplifts and something shifts. So these winds of change come through quite quickly, a bit like a storm that quickly passes through, and it disrupts things, it blows things about that have been loose outside, and then we're left to deal with shifting and clearing the aftermath. So this talks about being in the middle of a change period, and that we need to, I feel, be a little bit careful that we're not resisting the change or trying to swim against the change, but just surrender and let ourselves move with it. Let ourselves move with the winds, move with the flow, and see where this flow, where this change is going to take us. That it can be scary, the unknown, but if we can trust in each step that we take, and if we can trust in how we feel from moment to moment, then we are creating the known as we go. So if we get too caught up in the bigger picture of what's going to happen next week or what's going to happen next month, then we'll probably get into some fear or resistance of the unknown. But in truth, if we trust in each step we take and we deal with the things as they're presented, then we're creating or turning the unknown into known every step we take. So we may feel a bit blindfolded right now, like I just noticed wearing the same coloured scarfy thing over our heads, which is now really amusing, but I better not start laughing because I'll start coughing. Yeah, we might feel like we're walking with our blindfold on right now, like there's this big element of the unknown. But let's trust that everything's going to work out okay. We can trust in the steps that we take, whether we feel blindfolded or not. Perhaps blindfolded with a blue blindfold. How amusing. Now it's quite windy, as this card implies. I'm going to sit it under here. And I'm going to play the drum for a little bit. I'll just take a drink of water first. I'm going to play the drum for just a little bit. I have to take my microphone off though, don't I? So I'm going to play the hoop drum. This is a shamanic hoop drum. This is the Stallion. It is on the website. Have a look if you're inspired to. It is a beautiful drum. So I'm going to play this to hold space, especially around the things that I've just been talking about. So change, around the unknown, trusting in the steps that we take and whatever else has stood out for you in what's been shared. Or anything else that you might need that hasn't been talked about. If you feel that you need some healing or strength or courage right now, or you just want to be held in a space of support, then I trust you receive that, what you need during this drumming time. So be open to that. Request it. Hold the intention in your mind, in your heart, that you really would like the drum to support you or whatever you need. And trust it to be so. The cat really thinks I'm talking to her, which is quite amusing too. So, you can't do anything wrong. I'm just going to drum and trust how I need to drum. Just listen, take it deeper if you want to take it deeper. And I'll probably do this for 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm going to unpin my microphone because it rattles with the drum. So I trust that makes the drum sound better by me moving it. So enjoy. Thank you. Okay, just pinning on my microphone. How did you enjoy that bit of drumming time? I felt like it was shifting a lot, but also a lot of movement. I feel a lot of us there's a lot of movement happening right now. We might be seeing this playing out as actual change in our life. But I've got this feeling that there's a lot of movement happening behind the scenes or under the surface right now for some of us too. Like for this last week, I've pretty much been out of action. I've done a few little things every now and then, but I've pretty much just been out of action while my body's been healing. But I've felt that there's been a lot of stuff happening inside, like brewing, and like even though I haven't been creating per se, creating anything, I can feel this brewing, this momentum, this seed growing, if you like, inside me. And I know that very soon, probably in the next couple of days, I'm going to be bursting out with creativity. Excuse me. Because I feel that there's so much brewing underneath. I guess in some ways we can liken it to a volcano preparing to explode or erupt, and this brewing of energy underneath the surface. So some of us are seeing this change really playing out in our life. We're starting to get the momentum moving. Movement is finally starting for some of us, and some of us were on the precipice of that kind of pushing through, of that eruption, if you like, inside, that's really going to push us forward and create movement. So a lot of movement in the drumming I felt. And then towards the end, this deep feeling of gratitude, this really deep feeling of appreciation, and just real, I don't even know if I can find enough beautiful words to describe it, but this beautiful depth of appreciation for this moment, for being here, for being alive, for being okay. And that gratitude is probably going to be, it feels to me like an anchor to help carry us through this time of movement, outward movement and inward movement. And I can feel the winds. It's like the winds, like if we're a sailboat, the winds pushing us or blowing us along. So I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is, are we flowing with this, or are we pushing against it and really resisting the movement that's wanting to push forward in our life right now? So something perhaps to think about. How are you feeling? I trust that you're feeling well. Christopher says, for being alive. I don't know what you're responding to. Perhaps something I said. The thing is that the comments come up way after I've actually said something. So sometimes I just have no idea what you're referring to, but thank you for your comment. Alison says, I'm in the flow, no more resistance. Definitely. What is resistance anyway? Our fear of change? Our ego, or the voice of our hurt and pain, perhaps way of holding us in a space that has expired, that maybe doesn't work for us anymore, or a space of fear or heaviness or limitations. So is there much difference really between resistance and fear? Maybe not, depending probably on the situation. So, excuse me, it sounds worse than what it is. So, Christopher, yep, true for being alive. Yeah, grateful for being alive. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Thank you. So I've just used that card. I've just drummed with this card, Cycles of Change, and I'm just putting this back in, and I'm now looking for the best card that represents our forward movement from here. So what we need to know next, what might be a good focal point for us as we transition, as we take and work with the information and the stuff that's been inspired by what's come through during this video. or what you've been thinking about, what's really stood out for you. How can we implement that now and make it a part of our life so that we can continue to improve and change ourselves, if you like. So I'm looking for the best healing energy card for that, for our forward movement from here. And the cat's, oh, she's sitting behind me. She loved the drumming. She sat there the whole time just staring at me. I think she thought I was drumming for her. Maybe I was. Perhaps she needs it right now too. So the best card for our forward movement from here, I trust, is this. You hear me, but I'm frozen. Am I? I hope not. I trust not. Anyway, it doesn't look like it's been affected by anything here. So I'm just going to continue. And if you can hear me but can't see me, maybe the replay might work, or try refreshing. So here is our card for our forward movement from here. What we need to know now to implement this change, to break down resistance or fear, or to go with this flow that we're being guided to go, and trust in the steps that we take. We've got this card 23, called Bridge Between the Heart and the Throat. It says healing of the throat and heart chakras. Share from your heart. Past traumas seen as positive lessons in the now. Say what you feel. So in regards to what's already been shared, this is talking about really making sure as we go through these next few hours, whether you're connecting live or to the replay, that we really think about how we're communicating and make sure that we're expressing ourselves, whether it's verbally or just through some type of expression. It may be typing, texting these days, may be verbal, it may be more of a body expression or creative expression. How are you expressing yourself, and are you expressing yourself from your heart? From your heart, from your truth, from how you feel inside your body, inside your heart. Perhaps this is part of the key in moving forward and moving with the flow into the unknown, is to listen more to how we feel and communicate how we feel more clearly. I was always, or actually no, I won't say that. When I grew up, I was a very unconfident young lady. When I was growing up, I just felt a bit, unconfident in myself and what I had to say. I didn't know how I felt, and I couldn't describe it, let alone, I didn't even know how I felt myself. So how was I going to express how I feel if I didn't know how I felt? And I'm talking about, early teens. And then when I was hairdressing, of course, I became more confident in what I was saying. But what I realised is that this was something I had to learn. I had to learn how to speak and express myself from my heart. It didn't come naturally. Not for me anyway. I don't know if it's come naturally for you, but it's very difficult to be be the type of person perhaps that tends to not understand how they feel, or tends to shut down, or is it more of a quieter person to suddenly being able to say how you feel. I found for me my journal was the bridge between that unconfident child and growing up in that way, and then opening up a little bit, but still feeling that in some ways, and opening up more as I've become older. I keep cracking myself up for no apparent reason, obviously. But I found that my journal really helpful because it helped me connect in with myself and how I feel or felt at the time, and expressing that in words that I write rather than words that I say. I found that how I felt reached a certain point in my body, and then as soon as it came time to want to express it, I kind of hit this wall. So journal writing or writing down was always more comfortable for me. I was always more at ease writing than speaking. So writing in my journal over the years has helped me better understand how I feel and find it more comfortable to express how I feel randomly in the moment like I am now, which I never ever would have done 20 or 30 years ago. So this is something that I've developed and grown through understanding that it is kind of a weakness of mine and looking at ways of improving this about myself, is communicating from my heart, communicating how I feel. So as we progress and as we move forward, as we go through these next few hours, whatever those hours might be for you, whatever day that is, it doesn't really matter. We're being guided to really look at how we can express how we feel more comfortably. Not that it's always comfortable, especially if it's something we've been storing inside. If we've been storing something inside, a feeling, and worrying about it, or building up the courage to say something to someone, it's not going to be comfortable when we say it. But sometimes we've just got to blurt it out just so we can start getting the energy moving. Communication is a way to get the energy moving. Things become stuck and stagnant when people, especially in relationships or connections with other people, if we hold on to how we feel and we don't share it and express it. To get the energy moving, a big part of that is communication. So firstly, how can we communicate it with ourselves? And then how can we take it out and communicate it with others if that's what we need to do? Sometimes it's not just about words, like I say, it can be about expression. So if you're really finding it hard to understand how you feel and you can't really talk to anyone about it right now because you don't know how you feel yourself, you might find it more comfortable to get out some paper or do something creative as a way to express and get that energy out of your body. Basically to get it moving, because the energy just wants to move, and we're in a really powerful time now of the energy of movement, of change. So basically I feel we're being guided to unstick ourselves, to release resistance, to trust more in the flow and let ourselves move with these winds that are moving in to our life, to basically get out of our own way. And a big part of that for some of us might be how we're communicating, how we're expressing how we feel. Are we sharing from our heart? So it's just some things perhaps to think about. So I'm going to leave that with you. Thanks so much for connecting. I've used my healing energy cards today, and it's their 10th birthday this month, which is why I've hidden it. This is one of my pendants from one of the illustrations in this card, which I've claimed because I love it. And I've got lots of pendants coming up today around this deck. Which cards have I got coming? Which illustrations? Let me find one. Healing Hands, that's coming in a pendant. So I've got quite a few. Self-love is coming in a pendant. Charging is coming in a pendant. These are coming today. I've started already putting them on the website. I just need to take photos. So keep an eye out for them. They're limited. There's not going to be, I won't be doing any more. So once these are gone, they'll be gone. So 10 years since they came out. I'm definitely going to do a video on that this month at some point and talk about those because they're a really exciting journey. So they're also on sale this month, the Healing Energy cards. If you are inspired by them or want to work with them, then please have a look on my website at templeofbalance.com.au. I'll share the link when these pendants are up. It just depends. I don't know when I'll get the photos up. It should be in the next few hours. If you want to learn more about the work that I do, please visit my website at templeofbalance.com.au. Thanks so much for being here today. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you want to connect more privately, just send us a message through our website. It's been so good to be back. You've got no idea. Although I do feel quite proud of myself. I've been extremely patient this week. Letting my body heal and do its thing. So I'm really pleased and proud with my own personal attitude towards letting my body heal. Sometimes we just don't have a choice. So flowing with that's been great, but it feels so good to be back. Isn't it great to feel good after being ill or not feeling well for a week or so? It's so good to have a day where you just feel like you're recovering. So it's so good to be back and have some sunshine and a bit of warmth, and the wind as well feels like it's shifting a lot of stuff right now. So thank you for being here. It's been great. I will read all of your comments when I get back on my computer shortly. And I'll be back tomorrow because I'll be sharing some guidance for the weekend. So until next time, stay well. Keep going with the flow as best as you can, and notice if you're meeting obstacles of resistance along the way so that you can clear them and keep flowing. So thank you, sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. Namaste. And namaste means that the divine, the creator within me, honours and acknowledges the divine, the creator within you, that we are equal, we are one. So thank you so much for being who you are, and I'll chat with you again soon. Bye. This is a beautiful moment. Thanks for sharing it with me. Thank you.